Hey there. Today we're looking at Paradise Lost in comics form. The author Pablo Auladell, I believe he's from Spain, and the original edition is in Spanish. I know an English poem, but there is an English edition of this graphic novel if you are an English speaker and want to read it in English. But it doesn't really matter. I'm just giving you the general look of how it is, and you can kind of decide, I think, if you want to read it or not. So the art is pretty artsy, pretty refined, and has sort of a charcoal look to it. And I think he says in the introduction that he started it, and then for whatever reason, several years had to pass before he could finish it. So there's kind of a jump in the styles of the art, but I didn't really notice it too much. What I did notice is that it's very dark. I mean, it's very sometimes kind of confusing what's happening, or um, like it's just like panels like this. What is happening up here? I have no idea. There's just like this darkness, and sometimes it's kind of neat to like add a little mystery to it. But I think I would have preferred a little cleaner art style that would help me understand what was going on. And kind of another thing that I didn't like was that some of the characters were just like, who is who and what's going on? Like, Adam and Eve are in it, and that's okay. It's pretty clear who they are. But sometimes it's just like confusing. I think they gave Satan this hat, so you kind of know he's Satan at least. That's his kind of his cool hat, to funny hat, to make him stand out in the story. But a lot of times there's just so many characters that are just like shrouded in this darkness that I get it. That was kind of like the mood he was going for, and that's his style. But I think it kind of lacks. It takes away some of the narrative clarity of what is happening. Um, so overall, in this, I was kind of enjoying it. I'm not a huge fan of Paradise Lost, the poem. It's okay, but I agree. It's beautifully written, but I'm not this. I'm talking about the story of it, and the mythology of it has been incorporated into a lot of other things, other comics. I think Spawn and Sandman, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, just look at these. There's just panel after panel of like blackness in which it's like, okay, something's happening in the clouds, and we kind of get a hint of it. Okay, and then there are panels that are pretty clear. But I question whether this was the best art style choice for any kind of narrative, any kind of clear storytelling. But let's jump ahead a little more. Um, I mean, there's panels like this that are much brighter and clearer. But he's just clearly he wanted to. I think what he was trying to do was create this feeling of this darkness, um, of Satan and hell, and all the lurking darkness of the earthly plane, and down in hell. But I mean, just look at this page. The entire panel is just like so dark. It's like, why? Why are we so? We'd have to be so shrouded in darkness. It almost looks like not John Milton, William Blake, his art. But Blake's art is much clearer. I feel like that's what this could have been if he had used brighter tones and more contrast, rather than just these endless waves of darkness. I mean, look at this panel. Like, what is happening here? Can somebody tell me? Um, Maybe it also make the characters look a little different from each other. Those would be my suggestions. Because just brightening up these panels I mean, this is Garden of Eden. It's supposed to be like life and vibrant and growth. Instead, it's just like pure darkness, darkness, waves of darkness. So yeah, overall, I was okay with this book. I wasn't like super excited about it, but I feel like this guy could do some wonderful painting, and just brighten things up a little and add some more contrast with the character faces and personalities. I mean, I think this is supposed to be like Jesus. They give him like this sheep head. He puts him on a sheep head. So that was like a clear choice that helps distinguish him. But I think we could have used that more with even more characters. And yeah, so I can't totally recommend this unless, I guess, the the people that really want a graphic novel version of Paradise Lost. I know of at least one other version. There's this series of manga that adapts a lot of the classics, and they're available, I think, in Japanese and Spanish, not in English, as far as I know. And but I can't even locate the Spanish one, so I was trying to find that one so I could read it in Spanish at least, but unfortunately cannot locate at present. But if I ever do, I'll download that and get that because those series of comics, I like the art. It's a traditional manga style in black and white, and they're pretty clear. And I would be curious to read that version of Paradise Lost. But this version, I'm not very happy with. I can't say it's something that I recommend unless you really like the art. So a few times it does work. Like this. This is like the serpent, Satan, hiding in the Garden of Eden. But it's just too many times. There's confusion and muddiness. But I did like this depiction of the serpent in the garden. I thought that was kind of cool. They give him a weird face, kind of mask thing. That was kind of neat. Otherwise, I was glad to finish this book, and I don't think I'll be reading it again. Anything else to comment? Nah. I think you get the picture. It's very dark, very muddy, and I think though when people will go to a graphic novel, well, they go for different reasons. So I'm not knocking the art style. I'm just saying like it could be improved with I think a brighter, more vibrant color scheme and some clarification. So here's your probably the easiest version of Paradise Lost in graphic novel form that you're going to find out there.